Hello everyone. Today we create a combined workflow that overrides warning elements in 3D view, either all or by selected type, with the colors based on the warning. We would also generate a quick report which would indicate the number of selected warnings. Let's get started. For today's script, we would use 4 packages: data shapes, crumple, rhythm, and genius locking. First of all, let's create logic to either select all or individual types of warnings in the current project. Search for all warnings of type node. It has a drop-down with all warnings types available. Now get if and boolean nodes. Rename boolean to get all warnings and connect it to test input. Connect all warnings of type to false input and search for document.currentNode. Also get warning.getWarnings node and connect document.currentNode to document input. Now connect warning output to true input in if node. Create a group and name it get all warnings. Get warning.getFailing_elements node and connect the resulting output to it. Create another group and name it select warnings by type. When you press run, you would see that if get all warnings is set to false, get failing elements node would only give elements with selected warning type. But when it is set to true, you would see all failing elements being categorized by its warning type. Now search for warning.description and connect if result to it. Get list.group by key node and connect warning description to keys and element output to list. That way, we group each failing elements with its warning description in a list. Create a group and name it group warnings elements by type. Search for list.flatten and list.unique items nodes. We would use them to identify only unique failing elements, in case if elements had multiple warnings at the same time. Get list.contains and connect our list to list input, then get all elements in active view node and connect it to item input. Make sure that list input is using second level and list.contains node is at longest tracing. When you press run, you will see a list of true and false values, where true would represent our failing elements. Now get list.filter by bool mask and connect list.contains to mask and all elements in active view to list. Create a group and name it filter through all visible elements. Let's create settings for overrides of all elements in the active view, excluding failing elements. Search for override graphic settings.by properties node and get color.by ARGB node. Connect color to projection fill color and projection line color inputs. Now get a code block and type 41 and 88. Connect 41 to red and blue, then connect 88 to green. I personally like the way this color look, but you are free to use any other color combinations here. Search for fill patterns node and connect it to projection fill pattern. Make sure you select solid fill. Get another code block, type 100 and connect it to transparency input. Then get boolean, change it to true and connect it to halftone. Search for element.override in view node and connect override to override input. Go back to our previous group, grab output and connect it to element input. Create a group and name it set non-warnings color. Now let's create a color override for failing elements. Get list.group by key node and connect warning description to both list and keys. If we freeze our override node and run, you will see that we just grouped warnings types by its description. This will allow us to count the number of each warning type. Get another override graphic settings.by properties node. Search for fill pattern, select solid fill and connect to projection fill pattern. This time we would use color range node to override our failing elements. Get color palette node and copy it 2 times. Select any combination you want. This would create our color boundary range. After you specify the color, get list.create and connect all 3 color palettes. Now create a code block and type square bracket 0, 0.5, 1 square bracket. Connect it to indices input. That way, we are assigning each color to take an equal part of the color range. On the next row, type 0, _1, _hash a. This would be our number range, which would define how many different color variants we need from our color. Connect our range to value input. Now get list.count node and connect unique keys output to it. After that, connect int output to a input in our code block. As you can see, the count node gives us 5, which is a number of different warning types in the project. This means that color range would produce 5 different colors within the given range. Create a group and name it Create Color Range based on warning types. Connect color range to both projection color and projection line color inputs. Search for element.override in view node and connect overrides to it. Now return to group warning elements by type group, get groups output and connect it to element. The reason why we are using that output values and not in output from the filter in the filter through all visible elements group is that we want to maintain our failing elements grouped by its warning type. That way we can assign different color for each warning group. We need to make sure we make overrides in sequence as well, as it would prevent errors when we reset override settings later. Get flow.wait for node and connect it to elements instead, then get the group output and connect it to data. And finally, get element output from non-warning elements color group and connect it to wait for. Create a group and name it set warning elements color. Now search for view reset element overrides node and get document.activeView node as well. Connect view to view input, then grab document.currentOutput and connect it to document input. Get helpers.toggle from written package and connect it to element input. We would need it to identify when we want to reset color overrides. Search for boolean, connect it to toggle and change the name to be reset overrides. Now get another flow.wait for node and connect it to OBG input. Get all elements in ActiveView output and connect it to data input, then connect element.override in view output to wait for input. That way our sequence would override all non-warning elements first, then all warning elements, and finally, if we want, we would reset the color overrides. Create a group and name it Reset View Overrides. For the final part, let's build our pie chart UI window. Search for pie chart node from Datashapes package. Create a code block, type double quotes warning chart, and connect it to chart name input. Then get list.count node and connect groups output to it. Make sure list use second level and connect it to values input. This would give us the number of each warning type. Use unique keys output and connect it to series input. Create a group and name it Group Warnings by Type. Use color range output and connect it to colors so that we use the same color palette for our pie chart. Create a group and name it Generate Pie Chart. Search for multiple input form node and connect our pie chart to inputs. Then get a boolean and connect it to toggle. Let's rename it to Get Pie Chart. Now create a code block and type double quotes warnings list. On the next row, type double quotes close and then type 650 on the next row as well. Connect warnings list to description, close to button text, and 650 to width. Create a group and name it Generate UI Window. Now the script is done, let's prepare it for Dynamo Player. Right-click on all warnings of type and select is input. Do the same for get all warnings, reset overrides, and get pie chart booleans. Don't forget to unfreeze all nodes. Now save, and let's open it through Dynamo Player. When you select the script, you will see a list of input values. Let's test it and select only one warning type. Once you press run, you will see that every element is overridden and only failing elements are highlighted. Try to select another warning type and press run again. Now, let's switch get all warnings to true and press run again. As you can see, we now have all warning elements being covered by its group type. If you switch get pie chart to true and run again, you would see what warning each color represents and number of each warning types. If you switch to false get all warnings, you will have a chart showing the number of warning for the selected type only. And if you want to reset all overrides, simply switch to true reset overrides. I hope you liked this video and see you next time. Thank you.